Good morning, Polynikes here again with part 2 of the Emerald City Insurgent Battle Report. Today in part 2 we're going to be doing the second day's missions, Supremacy and Firefight. Let's get my pen out. Alright, there it is. Okay, again we're at the Mox boarding house. It's a great location, I enjoyed it a lot. And this is my Skiavoros Charonted list. This is the list I'll be playing in both games today. So should be familiar with it by now, but Skiavoros and Charonted, both powerful aspects. The Kurgat to repair things, Dadaratsi to lay smoke everywhere, and Bodyguard, my trusted shrouded assault hacker. Q-Drone for all the things Q-Drones do. Morat hacker, primarily to be a specialist and to upgrade the Q-Drone. Kernau, to be a specialist, to lay white noise to cover the Q-Drone, and to deal with other hackers. One Imatron, don't really like having an Imatron in a limited insertion list, but there's a lot of expensive guys here, so I do. Alright, the first mission today is Supremacy. Supremacy is a neat mission. It's actually become one of my favorite missions in this ITS. The scoring here is a little wrong. They leave out the part where having a Xenotech in the dominated quarter is worth 1. That's where the extra objective points come here. And the classified has a special thing. I think it's worth 2 if you have the right classified and you have less than 10 already. Yeah. Big difference from the old version is there's no victory points for tying on sectors. You have to dominate more to get 1. But the Xenotech in your dominated quarter is basically the tie point, which is given to you for that instead of tying. And you can only get 3 points from consoles in the new version as opposed to 4 like you could in the old. Okay. This is my opponent, Burl. And I have to say, he was the happiest opponent I have ever played against. No matter what was going on in the game, he was having a good time, which is great. I really enjoyed our game. And it turned out a pretty interesting game too, as you'll see. This is not his exact list. This is my recreation of it like 3 weeks later, so something's wrong. You can see over here I don't quite have enough points, but all the major players are there. I know he had 2 Naga Mine Layers. I know Dart was there. Did I forget Dart in the list? No, she's there. Yeah, Dart's there. So these are all the major players. Maybe there was another proxy. Maybe I had something wrong there. Don't remember for sure. Okay. So I win the lieutenant role and I decide to go first. It's not a bad mission for going first, despite the fact that you claim table quarters during the end of each turn for objective points. I still feel it's fine. So this is my deployment starting on my left side. We have the Q-Drone here with the Dadaratsi behind him. You note that often when I deploy my Dadaratsis, they're, as I like to refer it, they're set up where he can run. 4 inches is going to be like right about here. And not much you get line of fire to him there. That allows him to not get killed when he throws his smoke grenade, and he'll throw a smoke up here in order for me to move forward if I need to. If I don't, he can run again. But it's important that you don't put the Dadaratsi like right here, where he would run around the corner, into the open and get shot by something. Worst case scenario, he gets shot by a missile launcher right here, which, Splash Radius does this and kills Q-Drone, which is just terrible. So impetuous guys do not often want to be seen on their impetuous order. I think this is a mistake I see a lot, where guys have them on the edge of the deployment zone just running straight out. No, pull them back. Let them get ready to do their thing. Lastly, in this picture, Skiavoros is forward deployed over here with his being medium infantry. And my Morat hacker is in the building here, but on the floor. Which right there. All right. Here's the Dadaratsi we were just talking about. So now we're on the right-hand side where we've got the second Dadaratsi and Kernau here. I think in the next picture you'll see that a little better. Yeah. Kernau there with my Kurgat engineer all the way on my right. He's set up over here and kind of hiding because I'm pretty sure Charonted is going to go down somewhere over here. With Skiavoros and Q-Drone on the other side, that's the power over there, and the power on this side will be the Charonted. Oh, my opponent is deploying. These models are not deployed. They're in camo or reserve or something. This is his lieutenant, which I believe is the Shukra, one of the Strategos. This is one of the objectives right here. And right around the corner, one of his proxies ends up. I think, or actually right here is where one of his proxies ends up, which is the 2 submachine gun version. All right. Moving along the board from his right, we have his Danavis, I think it is, the Hacking Device Plus, not the TO Camo Hacking Device Plus. We have this bot down here is representing his Rudras, which has a red fury in this mission, I believe. Moving along the side over here, we've got his Total Reaction Bot, whatever it's called. This has got a good good view here because you can see all the way down the field to this objective and to another one. It's got a pretty good commanding angle there. Next to it, we have the Takini TACbot HMG, and up here is Shakti, the killer hacker. And this is his HVT over here. Yeah. The same image again? Okay. All right, this is him putting down his proxies. This is not here. I think that's actually his HVT, which ends up where I just showed it, not here. And this is the proxy with the double submachine guns over on his right flank. Yeah. And this is his engineer proxy, which ends up next to the TR bot down here. And then mine is the Charonted, who also gets my Xenotech. His Xenotech is over here with his lieutenant, represented by Uwaku here. This ends up being a really interesting interaction. You'll see momentarily how all this lines up. Okay. So, in the beginning of my first turn, I'm moving up on my right-hand flank here. This is a smoke template that I've lobbed over here, kind of giving me some clearance from things that may or may not be around. My hacker in here has upgraded my Q drone to marksman, and my Dadarasa is still back there somewhere. The Skivoros has kind of moved over. The Q drone has been basically dancing back and forth right here. What I was originally trying to do was kill his Rudras, which is down this fire lane right here, all the way at the end of the board there. I eventually decided that's not really worth it because it's 2 wounds and armor. It's going to take me a lot of orders to do it. So I discovered one of his Nagas, Naga Mine Layer, which you can see discovered right here. I don't remember what happened to his mine. I might have sent the Dadarasa up to dodge it or just shot it. I really don't remember what happened to his mine. What I'm talking about here is getting greedy. First, I do an intuitive attack, which is how I reveal this guy with my Sepsitor, and he makes the save for it, so it does not get Sepsitor. And then I do a coordinated order with the Skiavoros and the Q drone and a couple other guys. And really, I'm just trying to get some free movement out of this. I'm probably just going to Sepsitor him again. So Q drone is the spearhead. They all move together, kind of across here. And what ends up happening is the Q drone goes unconscious, Skiavoros takes a wound, but I do Sepsitor the Naga. The first thing that I do with the Naga, the first order after I Sepsitor it, is he whips around and drops a mine right here. And this mine is blocking this little area here. So if the proxy moves out or if his lieutenant moves out, he'll trigger the mine there. I've also got my facing on my newly Sepsitor guy, back towards his ex-friends, so he can start arrowing if he needs to. All right. On my right side of the board, the Charonted has an attack run. He moves up. There's 3 camo tokens over here, one of which is Dart, one of which is the Naga, one of which is the Mine. I correctly figure out which one is the Naga, identify it, kill it with the HMG pretty quickly. I identify Dart next, and then she crits me with an EM grenade, which would be terrible, except that my Kurgat is right behind the Charonted. He walks up to it and fixes it. It's not that bad. 1 or 2 more orders left, Dart is dead. She throws EM grenades again, but again, the Kurgat being immune to EM because he's a Morat, doesn't really matter that he's right next to the Charonted. Had this not been the Kurgat, I would have had to then spend at least 1 order moving away from the Charonted before activating the Charonted. Otherwise, you get splash damage by EM and your Dock Worm or Slave Drone gets immobilized. Very bad. Okay, so on my opponent's first turn, one of the main things he does is run his Engineer over and fix his Dakini TACbot. This takes like 3 orders, if I remember correctly. Now, none of this is moving up to claim table cover, so I'm fine with it. He fixes the Dakini, which ends up being his classified, which is also fine. And then he runs the Rudras over here to fight the Charonted. Charonted is basically where it is right now. And he comes over here, throws white noise on his Rudras. Again, this is all very order-intensive stuff, right? And comes around the corner and fires at the Charonted a little bit, who's able to guts back into cover over here. And I think the Charonted ends up taking 1 wound from that. There's 1 or 2 long-range shots from the Kurgat who's back there, but it doesn't really do anything. And the turn ends with the Rudras fine, the Charonted fine, but over here now. And the enemy didn't really move up much in his first turn, which means that I was able to claim multiple quarters there. At some point, I do drop the Xeno scanner, multi-scanner. Not quite sure if it was first or second turn, because Charonted was doing a lot of moving, shooting. All right, so this is the image of the Skiavoros that has been injured, and the Q drone, well, I forgot to mark it, is unconscious right here. This is sort of nearing the end of my second turn. The Skiavoros just takes cover over here. I put out a repeater here. I was worried about a killer hacker. I was shocked he's a killer hacker, and I was worried that this was also a killer hacker. And it ends up being a, pretty sure it is a killer hacker. It's going to come out in a moment and find out what happens. But these guys tuck in over here. And on my opponent's second turn, I'm pretty sure, Shakti is moving up, and she takes a couple of shots at various things, including the Naga who's here, who, as an arrow, just places a mine here. He dies, but he's probably going to die anyway. Now I've got 2 mines covering that same area. And he spent some time killing his own guy. Seems great to me. Yes, this was a killer hacker up here. I don't remember what kind of killer hacker it was. And because I have my repeater down there, which was bait, by the way, right? I wanted him to reveal, and he does. He attacks Kurnow with his killer hacker, and in response he gets carbonated by the Shrouded Assault hacker here, sucker punched by my Morat hacker, and maestroed by Kurnow. Kurnow ties with this killer hacker, so nothing happens, and the killer hacker is killed by the sucker punch. Even though it's only damage 16 at the time. Now it's damage 17, even better, right? All right, so the Shroud is up here. He's going to be my specialist who will eventually go down and hit that button over there. Kurnow on the other side does that at some point. Okay, so at this point, I feel like it's a good idea to fix Skiavoros, because he's got structure, right? I got my engineer there. So I always think this is a good idea when he's wounded to fix him, because he can go back into combat with 2 wounds. It never turns out useful at all. In this case, I fail and reroll, you can see 3 times with command tokens, right? On the last one, I make it. I'm out of command tokens at this point. If I'd failed one more time, I would have killed my own Skiavoros. But I do get him back up to 2 wounds here, and we'll see why that's complete waste later on. This is pretty much near the end of the game. Again, not quite enough pictures, sorry guys. But his engineer runs over here and secures this objective. Kurnow has secured the objective down there. Shront is still holding that table corner. On my other side of the board, yeah. So Skiavoros does have a good run here. Let's go over a couple things first. His lieutenant runs out and triggers the mines, who detonate on him, and he successfully dodges, but they kill the human proxy that was over there. Also burns up some mortars. He then runs out here, places the multi-scanner, this is his Xenotech right here, and ends up right behind these boxes. Skiavoros comes around the corner and melts him down with plasma. After I fix Skiavoros, it comes around over here, peeking around this corner to where you can see Shakti, somewhere over here, and melts her with plasma also. And then, on my opponent's turn, this assault hacker, whatever this thing is, stands up over here. Due to my poor placement, is able to shoot Skiavoros in the back right here, and does 2 wounds, killing Skiavoros pretty much right away. Gets a crit and gets a hit, and I fail to save. So once again, the medicing or engineering of Skiavoros was a complete waste of time. But I'm always convinced it's a good idea, even though it never seems to work out. All right, end of the game. I was able to secure the quarter each time, each round for myself, as well as getting 2 consoles. And I'm not sure on these objective points for these second 2 missions, because I didn't keep the piece of paper with all that stuff recorded on it that the TO gave us, and I don't remember anything about surviving points. But this was the result was a major for the combined army. It may have been 8-2, may have been 9-3. I don't recall exactly. All right, last game of the tournament is Firefight. Not one of my favorite missions. It's usually just killing things, right? And you can often hide once you've killed more things and make it hard for your opponent, right? Kill more specialists, kill more lieutenants, kill more army points, get some things out of the panoply and the data tracker. My opponent and I both forgot data tracker in this mission. Not a fan of the data tracker rule. I think it gets forgot too much and doesn't really need to be in the game anymore. I was hoping it would be gone in Season 10. But it's here and we forgot it, so there you go. All right, this is my opponent, Grimalkin, playing JSA. I played a lot against JSA during the Uprising, and as far as I know, I'm familiar with what they can do overall. Obviously not specifics. This is his specific list. 3 ninjas, good for Firefight. Yojimbo, always good. Dumaru Link, expected. Oyama's kind of an obvious lieutenant. I was pretty sure it was a lieutenant. It does end up being. And the Rushi, which is great. Yojimbo's there for the smoke for Rushi. I mean, not only, but he is the smoke for everybody. All right, I win the lieutenant role. I was pretty happy to win this lieutenant role because I know ninjas are going to be popping out of the woodwork, and I'd like some time to prepare for that. So I choose to go first. This picture, unfortunately, actually already into the turn, but it is basically my deployment. Skiavoros down here in the bottom. He's prone, hiding. He's an obvious lieutenant. I basically tell my opponent because it's a Strategos 2 is the only thing the army can have Strategos 2. Even if they don't know that, I usually tell them. Because I don't really care if they hunt my lieutenant. It is more important in this mission, but still. One Ulaties here, one Ulaties here. And remember, as I was talking earlier about having them sort of loaded to do things, this one's a little bit too far. It really should have started like over here, and it started over here. So it runs up to here, but that's during the first turn, which we'll get to. He throws a smoke out. He survives an engagement with the link team by doing that. This is my Q drone, sort of overwatching the center of the board. This is my engineer's slave drone. My engineer is over here, guarding my left flank approach to Skivoros. Remember that the Kurgat has mines, so that if something gets over here, obviously not a camo token, but something gets over here in an attack run coming down, I can lay a mine. And that's a pretty good defense against both ninjas, or against any kind of ninja. Okay. This is my Shrouded, who starts the game over here somewhere. I think like over here. I can't remember for sure. And my reserve is my Charonted, who's over here. Charonted HMG MSV3. If I can get the ninjas to reveal, that's going to be a great tool to fight them. Yeah, here's where the Charonted is. That's pretty much the same picture, but from a different angle. You can see this is into my first turn, so we'll just start there. The Ulaties runs up, throws that smoke, survives with the link team. The Shroud moves over to here, secures something from the panoply, which was, I believe, like +2 armor, +1 armor, something. Very important here, as the Shroud is moving around, I specifically am not using my stealth. Because I know there's ninjas everywhere. And I don't want a ninja to be able to respond to my second action because I haven't allowed him to with my first. So every time the Shroud activates, I say, not moving my stealth, or not using my stealth, I'm going to walk over here. Not using my stealth, I'm going to walk over here. Second action is, lay a mine. It's out of mine here. Get something out of the panoply. He does that. He then goes around the corner over here. My original thought was to get another mine put out over here and go to the other panoply. But we run out of orders because my opponent reveals a ninja. Yeah, my Charonted, which is about to be shanked by an Oniwaban. But before that happens, an Oniwaban appears here as a camo token, holding as my camo token moves by. So I just decided to move again and tuck into that corner. His whole link team is right behind this corner, by the way. And he knows this is an assault hacker. So this is a mistake from my opponent, very clearly, because he didn't realize there was line of fire to the Charonted here. Charonted was not prone at this time. He stands up and is able to jiggle around a little bit and definitely get line of fire to a prone ninja there. So I spot him with MSV3 and then shoot him with my HMG. He makes a couple of armor saves. Not fair, I'm only firing an HMG. So I have to do it once or twice more. But eventually I kill the ninja. End up in this position, which looks really strong to me. I can see through here. I can see out there. I'm on suppression fire. I've got my camo guy up here. I really would have loved to get another mine out here, but I ran out of orders and just didn't get it, thanks to this ninja being survivable. And what happens is it flips over to my opponent's first turn, and another ninja appears pretty much like right here, somewhere over there. Runs around the corner here. We get a couple discover attempts on it, and we do discover it. And then it runs through here, at which point we had a discussion, because this line of fire seems obviously clear to me. It was obviously there during the game. And my opponent thought that this objective, which is somehow at an angle here, he's partially into the floor, so he thought this was just going to be a giant block that blocked between these two objectives here. And that's why Ninja ran around there, because he could get around behind Charonted. I had set up thinking that I could see through there, but he made his whole attack run thinking I could not see through there. So I said that was reasonable, and we'll pretend it does block here. So there was no line of fire from Charonted there. And he gets around behind Charonted, runs over here into close combat with Charonted. As you can imagine, killing him with a monofilament close combat weapon. However, he does get killed by the Q drone firing through this doorway here as he does that, because Charanted's prone, not blocking line of fire, because he was covered by the Q drone, right? Because he was expecting an attack. So he kills it, and this was a really interesting point in the game, I thought, because now my opponent is up maybe 30, 40 points in kill points. So it's really on me now to come over there and kill his guys. He doesn't really have to do anything else at this point, right? Or more accurately, it's on me to start doing things to gain points back. He's already done his. He's done the trade there. Ninja's worth about 40 or so. Charonte's worth about 80, a little bit less. But he's up in points. So now it's on me. But my opponent continues to attack. This is, again, more the end of my first turn. Just put a bunch of guys on suppressive fire, which, once again, doesn't do anything. I generally think suppressive fire will not do anything most of the time, and is a mistake to go into. Okay, so this is still my opponent's second turn. You can see he's laid down some smoke and brought up his Rushi. When the Shrouded dies, I jump into the Shrouded Assault Hacker here. So now my Shrouded Assault Hacker is hacking on 16s. 19s when I carbonate, right? It's a pretty good attack. Rushi comes up here, does get carbonated when it shoots at my Q drone. Nothing happens in the shot. Either we both just miss because he's outside of 24 shooting into cover and mimetism. He's got no hacker to upgrade it, so he can't ignore my cover. But the Rushi just gets stopped right there when I believe it is not killed. All right. Also, on a little ways later, my killer hacker appears over here somewhere. All it really does is run around up on top of the landing platform here and eventually tuck itself in over here, which is next to a panoply. When it comes over to my turn to respond to it, my slave drone runs up there and eventually discovers it. And then I shoot a repeater over there with Kurnow, definitely getting within range of it, somewhere about there. I try a couple times to maestro it. It doesn't work. Neither one of us die. And then on my opponent's turn, he tries to maestro, or tries to red rum Kurnow. Kurnow survives that, and he gets killed once again by Sucker Punch from the Morat hacker. Sucker Punch is a great program. People underestimate it all the time and get killed by it. And now it's even better. I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah, here's the Q drone is just kind of janking around a little bit every once in a while. I'm laying smoke for it with this Dadarazai, who's miraculously surviving against the Tanko missile launcher. And it allows him to like scoot up here where I'm able to kill the Rushi. Scoot up there, kill the Rushi, scoot back down, avoiding fire from the Tanko. This is the end of the game. You can see some smoke clouds here where I've moved up the Q drone, kind of positioned it right here. My Shrouded, which is not dead yet, isolates Oyama, who I'm pretty sure is his lieutenant, and it does end up being his lieutenant. The Q drone then shoots and kills the Tanko, who's standing up on top of this building, or this rock pile back there, with his missile launcher. I can't remember if he's broken out of the link or just lost the +3 from Oyama being isolated. I think he's just lost his +3. So I'm better off making that attack now. I do, and I kill him, and then situate right there. And my opponent brings up one of his Spitfires, and it comes up to here where it can shoot at the Q drone, but it gets shut down, I think, by the assault hacker again. But it survives, nothing happens. And in my last turn, I spend like 4 orders hacking it, trying to carbonite it, and he crits his reset a couple times, makes some saves, eventually gets carbonated. I shoot at him with the Q drone, unopposed 14s, maybe do 1 wound. I think I actually don't do a wound. Shoot at him again, no more orders to spend carbonating him, and he gets a shot back. Finally, 1 shot, takes out the Q drone. Very disappointing to me. On his turn, he's got loss of lieutenant, bunch of irregular orders, can't really do much. The Spitfire here is the only really relevant thing that happens this turn. Runs up to here, and then gets another order through a command token usage and runs up to about here. He splits his fire at a bunch of different targets. The only really relevant one is this right here. He throws 1 die at the Shrouded. The Shrouded shoots back at him. I'm pretty sure I shot because I wanted to kill him as opposed to carbonating him. I wouldn't have made any real difference because he beats my roll. He also takes the mine that I landed over there. And the result is he kills the Shrouded. Relevant because it's a specialist, and that ties us on specialists. He might have killed 1 or 2 other things, but he lost a lot more points by then. And that was the end of the game. Again, not totally sure on the points. It might have been 6-2, might have been 4-2, 4-1, something like that. But it was a minor victory for the combined army. Of that, I am sure. All right, so final standings. 2 major wins, 2 minor wins, and a loss. Total of 10 tournament points in 5th place. Had a great time. Andy ran a great event. I really enjoyed the venue. And hopefully I learned something in all those games. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And I wanted to invite everyone, if you're interested, post a combined army list below, and I'll try to give it a play. If it's an interesting and enjoyable game, I'll try to give it a battle report. I have almost everything in the combined army, so don't worry about what you put in your lists. And if I don't have it, maybe I'll get motivated to paint it. Okay, thank you much, and see you next time.